Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chapter 3 of Treasure Not Buried. Just as a reminder, we have great conversations about reading, but more importantly than just conversations about reading, we're very intentional to really have a cross-generational conversation. This came about as a conversation that I had with my grandson, who's actually my featured guest in Chapter 1, Mikey. We were talking about a very unseemly and unfortunate joke that has lasted a very long time about the likelihood of particularly Black people reading books. That if you wanted to hide something from a Black person, put it in a book. So as unsavory as that is, that became more than just a joke, but a stream of consciousness for people. So we plan to dispel all of that and really instead just incorporate reading as the way we communicate and share with each other. I am Wendy Lewis, and joining me today is my granddaughter,
Samya.
Thank you, Samya, for being with me.
Of course.
Samya and I are going to discuss this really wonderful book, Simply More. A book for anyone who's been told they're too much, by Cynthia Erivo. Some of us may think of Cynthia from Broadway. How can you forget her role as Celie in The Color Purple? And maybe more recently as that star in Wicked, both Wicked and Wicked for Good. I've seen them both, and I enjoy all of her performances. But for today, we're going to talk about this book. And so, Samya, to get us started, just generally speaking, tell me what you enjoyed about reading the book.
I enjoyed reading the book because I feel like she went into a lot of detail about the things that she's went through in her career to get where she is today, including her hardships, maybe diversity and inclusion, maybe things that she experienced within her own family, health. And I think it's very motivating to the younger generation, as in myself, to just realize that you're never supposed to be in a box or a square or a rectangle. You can be whatever shape you want to be, and you should be unapologetically yourself always.
Wow, thank you. And Samya was really what inspired me to pick up this book. And you will see as we dive deeper into it why I really, really appreciate having this conversation with her. So interestingly enough, as much as we think of Cynthia as this great actor, performer, all of the above, she actually opens with her other love, and that's running, and how she didn't think it was possible, but became a marathon runner. She talks about what she discovered is that our deepest desires lead us where we want to go, where we are meant to be. Our deepest desires lead us where we want to go, where we are meant to be. Samya, what do you think about that? You agree?
Yeah, I think even when you're young, you always have some type of dream, whether that's to be a firefighter or a singer or a police officer or a model. And wherever your aspirations are tends to lead you where you want to go in life. So if you think you want to be a lawyer one day, 9 times out of 10, you'll go to college to be a lawyer. And I feel like the things that interest you and inspire you kind of draw you in. And even if that's not your final stop, it can lead you to somewhere else and then the next place and continue to elevate.
Wonderful. And what's interesting is just the whole ideal of running and all of the health and discipline that came with that, health needs and disciplines that came with that, definitely are a tribute to how well Cynthia performs. And so how has that approach to health and fitness affected you?
Yeah, so since I was young, I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 15. And then I had cancer cells on my liver. So I had my first liver transplant when I was 17. And then I had another one 2 years ago in 2024. So I've had 2 liver transplants and lupus all before the age of 25. So it's definitely taught me to be stronger and more self-sufficient and more disciplined in the things that I do, whether that's the way I eat, exercise, medication. It definitely tells you to be disciplined.
Wonderful. Now, as we said, the title of this book is Simply More, a book for anyone who's been told they're too much. And so there's a chapter in here that literally discusses that first time you discover you are perceived to be too much. In Cynthia's case, it was with a beloved educator, one of her teachers, who on a given day felt she was more annoying. And therefore, she treated Cynthia differently. On that day was the word too suddenly entered my conscious. I talked too much. I was too loud. I was too nosy, too curious. At first, this confused me and made me feel bad later. What do you think about that ideal of someone thinking you're too much?
Yes, believe it or not, I don't get told that too often. But the first time I did, I was younger. I was like 17, 18. This is when I was going through a transition of being a pediatric patient to an adult patient. So I was going through trying to maybe change the team of doctors that I was with. So during that time, I was going through it a lot health-wise, and they were kind of just filling me up with a whole bunch of different medications and things that were actually making me more sick during the time. So I wasn't the most compliant patient, but not because I didn't want to take care of myself, because I thought the things that they were giving me were hurting me. So there was a day we went to the hospital, and my mom was kind of going back and forth with them, trying to figure out, like, what is the solution? What is the right medication she's supposed to take, because this isn't working. And they ended up telling me and her that we were doing too much and we just needed to be compliant and we needed to, take the medication that was given, which I didn't agree with. And we ended up leaving that day and finding a new team within the next week for a healthier future. But during that time, I knew for a fact, like, I'm not doing too much. I know my body and I know this is not okay.
I remember that. And it was as much as your grandmother, and the elder adult watching what you and your mom were going through. For the most part, I was kind of quiet and I sat to the side. And it is because you two were handling your business, and you particularly.
Yep.
I think the surprise and delight for a lot of folks was just how educated you were, about the situation you're in. But I remember conversations where you corrected some of the medical team on the pronunciation of a particular medication, and pronouncing it one way or another made a definite difference.
Yeah.
About how the dosage was supposed to be addressed and it wasn't. And you insisting on calling into question the person who made that change, and making sure that they supported your decision. So for me, it was really quite a moment to watch you just handle your business.
Yeah, because I think during that time, I really found my voice. Like I said, I was 15 at the time. I was very uneducated at the time. I didn't really know what was going on besides what my parents and family would tell me, or the doctors. And it's always just like, okay, yes, kind of thing, until you get to a point where, you're older and you know your body and certain things aren't okay, or certain things were too much. But it happened to be that I wasn't the one that was doing too much. It might have just been the other way around. So I definitely grew into myself that day and found a little bit of more of a voice and independence in myself.
So another thing addressed in the book is the whole time, particularly as a younger person, as a child, we discovered magic. And you and I were talking about this. So tell me about your first impression of magic.
My magic growing up was definitely Black girl magic. Seeing my family in the car, doing their makeup on their way to church, and fixing a 5-hour meal in 2 hours, playing her gospel in the kitchen. And I was very into beauty growing up. So I would sneak into my mom's and grandma's makeup and put on my blush and put on a little mascara, and I'd get yelled at for it. But that was my Black girl magic, just seeing so much beauty growing up. And I just wanted to be so much like y'all. So I just, what's that? Let let me borrow that. Grammy, let me get that purse. That kind of thing.
And you know, she could have gotten away with creating more magic had you learned how to put things back where you found them.
Yeah, because I'd never put it back. And that's how I got caught every time. But it's okay. We grow to know better. Mm-hmm.
So, Samya, there's a phrase in here reminds me of conversations that we had about Treasure Not Buried and this whole approach to really encouraging reading. Mm-hmm. And a lot of younger people, I'll say, that I've talked to about this, you know, have said, well, I'm not much of a reader. I find reading books boring.
Yeah.
And there's a statement in here that I told you, I'm going to put this on a t-shirt for you. It says, in life, if it's boring the life out of you, it's not your life. Yeah. So want to know what you think about that statement and the whole idea that people think that this is boring sometimes.
Because as you know, I'm not the biggest reader. I'm a big documentary person, ebook kind of person. But I really did enjoy this book. And I think a lot of people my age would enjoy this book as well. As I was telling you earlier, like I posted a quick little snippet of it on my Instagram story, the passage about celebrate yourself. Like we're young, but like I dress for me, my clothes are for me, my makeup, jewelry, hair is for me. And all the girls is like, what book is this? And they don't even read. So I'm like, I sent them the book and I'm like, read the book because it will help you a lot with everything, not just confidence, but your confidence, your anger, the way you carry yourself, your grace, being humble. So I think it's definitely a good read and it made me want to read more.
Mm-hmm. And Cynthia would be proud, very proud, I think. So let's talk about Celie. One of the most memorable characters this great actor has portrayed. And she makes a comment about the character of Celie. And if you are familiar with The Color Purple, and particularly Celie, just had a tremendously challenging life and was perceived to be powerless and hopeless. But that turns out to be very different. She says, this is what makes Celie stand so infectious and endlessly powerful. When we are determined to be happy, despite what life offers, despite today's circumstances, by any means possible, it's absolutely seismic. To become a force to be reckoned with. And again, going back to lupus and your transplants, that's what I thought about because I remember you wanting to do things in school, whether it was cheerleading or a dance team. And when your lupus was undiagnosed, we didn't know how certain things would put you into what we realized later was an episode or triggering episodes. Yeah. And so you had all these stop starts, but you always found a way to just sort of make your own joy happen. So what about even the tough stuff becoming the things that make you a force to be reckoned with?
I think, like you were saying, especially in school, when I first got diagnosed, there were a lot of things that were taken away from me in such a short period of time. I was a very active child. I did basketball, volleyball, track, dance, competitive dance. I did a lot of things. And then overnight, it was kind of like, okay, stop. So I'm like, wait, hold on. Because I love to do all these things. So I was very much taken back. And it didn't just do that. It took me away from the groups that I was in. So all these groups that I'm in, all these quote unquote friends I thought I had, I, slowly moved back from them. And then I realized who was really here for me, which were my close friends that would take 2 NJ transit buses to get to the hospital, or friends that would come see me at the house, or after my surgery, friends that would come by the house and take me to the park so I can walk because I was learning how to walk again. And I think those things just made me realize that I'm a lot stronger than I am. And certain things that used to bring me happiness actually don't anymore. I have like different interests now and different people around my life that understand the things that I go through and understand like, okay, well, maybe Samya can't go hiking today, but let's go painting. Let's do like a little sip and paint. Let's, like something very calm and accommodating for me. But it definitely made me realize like, people would be like, oh, I don't feel good today. I have a cramp. I have the flu. Like, girl, you couldn't mess with me on your worst day. You've never been through nothing, child. But not to say it like I'm bragging, just to like, I know what I can handle.
Yeah.
And it's made me so much stronger just going through certain things.
So that reminds me of something. When I asked you for about a magic moment, I want to tell you about what I witnessed as I believe a magic moment for you.
Okay.
Do you remember seeing the movie Madagascar?
In the movie theater?
Yes.
No.
You were such a little kid.
I don't remember.
So we were all as a family going to see Madagascar, and it's wonderful, wonderful music and soundtrack. And at the end, as the credits are rolling, you got your dance on. Mm-hmm. And you went from dancing in your seat to dancing up and down the aisle of the theater.
No one's ever told me this
yes,
story.
I have. Yes, I have.
This
okay.
Story.
We're going to survey this after this with the family.
I don't remember this.
So, tell the truth, I was like, oh my goodness, what is she doing? But the people in the theater were like, oh my God, you were so free. Mm-hmm. And you could care less who was looking. Mm-hmm. As far as you're concerned, you were getting your dance on and you enjoyed every minute of it. It was magic to watch you.
You know, the funny thing is,
yeah.
I feel like I do stuff like that now.
You do?
Like to this day. And I really don't care who's watching, especially like out with friends, movies, mall, Target, it don't matter. I'll sing, dance, talk to whoever.
Yes, you will break into song in some very unusual places.
Yes, I definitely will. But that's just, it comes with being unapologetically yourself. So, like it or love it.
So that's a great way to put it, unapologetically yourself. So I'd like to know what you think about this question. Mm-hmm. With all that being said, can you allow yourself to be seen as you really are?
Yes. Yes. If you would have asked me this question 3 to 5 years ago, I would have said no. With the health comes a lot of body changes. So there was a point in time where my face was almost like swollen like a bowling ball. And I have a huge scar from my liver transplant. So me being young, and like I was telling you the other day, never be this young and fine again. So you got to dress a certain way. You got to carry yourself a certain way. You got to embrace what you got right now because you won't have it again. But there was a point in time where I didn't embrace my body because I have scars and I have certain things that made me insecure. And now I realize that these things make me who I am. Like without the scar, then there would be no story to tell. There would be no me being strong, finding myself, finding my voice. So I try to embrace the scars that I have as much as I can and show them off whenever I can. And like I said, if you don't like it,
yeah,
it's not my problem. I know that my scar is a sign of strength, and it makes me feel stronger when I can wear it or be at the beach and people see it and they kind of like stare or might look sideways, but I know it's a sign of strength for me.
Mm-hmm. And I remember when you did a photo shoot.
Yeah.
For celebration of one of your anniversaries for lupus.
Yes.
And it was just gorgeous. And it was a midriff top.
Yeah.
And you're very proudly presenting your journey with lupus. So another wonderful reason why we are having this conversation now. Mm-hmm. You are celebrating your 10th year anniversary.
Yes. Well, it just passed. It was in May.
Yeah.
So it's early June now. I don't know when they'll see this, but it was in May. So May 1st begins the month of Lupus Awareness Month. It's every May, it's every year, but this year made 10 years for me. So.
Yeah. So we encourage all of you to know more about lupus. I remember when Samya was diagnosed, it was just such a revelation to the fact that she actually had lupus. It was something we didn't realize actually was in, part of our family, and that particularly for people of color and particularly for Black people, it is much more prevalent than we realize and can be very easy to miss it and misdiagnose it. When you had your sort of the trigger of becoming your worst episode, but also at the time, having the dysfunction with the liver.
Yeah.
And we just thought you had the flu.
Yeah.
And we're addressing it that way. And then very quickly it spiraled into something else. So on that note, I just want to say how proud I am of you.
Well, thanks.
And what a delight it's been to share this book journey with you. I think if you ever had the opportunity to meet Cynthia personally, I think you two would get along great.
Yeah.
Cynthia, we also want you to know how proud we are of you, the work that you do, how exceptional that talent is, but also exceptional talent you are, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us.
Bye.